Welcome back, everyone. We've got an overcast Sunday afternoon, and I've got my wife Alice out here in the garden with me today. We're going to be doing a couple different tasks. Alice is getting ready to plant some turmeric and some taro root. So I'm going to scrape back some of those wood chips so she can get in there with the hori-hori and do her planting. So here's what the fresh turmeric looks like, and this was about $5 at the Asian market. Then I also picked up about a dozen of the taro root corms, and these are ready for eating or planting. You can see some of them got a nice little sprout developing. Others just have the little nipple just starting to grow, but we're going to face those pointing up when we put them in the ground. And we also got these at the Asian market as well. Just pulled out a little patch of Bermuda grass.
Next 2 months, I will give you the update of my garden, how it goes. And then on summer, I will show you how to cook.
That's awesome. So thank you, honey, for your help today, helping planting.
You're welcome, honey.
So now you can get inside and warm up.
Yeah. So we are ready for sinigang next summer because we have this taro root and then the hot pepper,
cayenne,
onion, and pepper, the leaves, the pepper tips.
Yeah, the pepper leaves.
The pepper leaves is for the
Tinola.
sinigang. So we can do, let's see.
A lot of different dishes. Yeah, so stay tuned.
I can't wait to, to cook.
We love
different
sharing with you
kinds.
guys the recipes that we're able to put together from the produce coming from the garden. So we hope to do a lot more of that this year.
And soon I wanna cook eggplant, tomato, okra for my pakbet. Very nice too.
You're harvesting a lot, sweetie.
Yeah. I'm so happy to harvest.
What are you going to do with all that?
I'll give to my coworker because she told me that I'm gonna bring for her. For my plate.
Wow. Hold that one up. Nice. It's a merit collard. So I've had a few different folks write in asking if I could share how I go about transplanting my artichoke plant, so I'm going to share that with you now. So right over here, growing in between a couple of my fruit trees, you can see there's 4 or 5 artichoke plants growing. Last year I planted just one right here, and it sent up several different shoots, and now I can transplant those, proliferate the plant. And so that's what's going to happen if you're growing the artichoke. Every year you're going to have several plants that you can transplant out. So it's very easy. Let me share with you how I do it. So first of all, I want to decide which one I want to leave here because I want to continue to grow the artichoke here. And this little guy here is the most centered. So I'll take out these other, let's see, we got 3 other plants here. Now you could use a digging fork, a shovel, or what I'm going to be using is my hori-hori. And basically we're just going to dig it up and transplant it. It doesn't matter if the root breaks off a bit because there's still going to be some viable roots on whatever piece of root is left on the plant. But I'm just going to go ahead and pull off some of these plants so I can get better access to the base. Or leaves. I think I said plants. Alright. Now, I'm just going to get in between where these 2 plants are growing. Just pop it up like that. You can see we got a nice root structure here. Just pop this in the ground somewhere else and we'll have ourselves some artichokes. Actually had 5 over here. Another cool thing about the artichoke is that the leaves make a really good chop and drop mulch. You get several of these leaves and build them up, and it really does a good job covering the ground. So you can see here's where the main artichoke was growing. Actually, there's another little baby one growing up there, so there's 6 here. And I cut that one out. And if you can even pop out 2 at a time. That's what I'm going to aim to do here. The hori-hori really makes quick work of this. So boom, there's another plant. Some nice roots on there. See how easy this is? Broke that leaf. We want to do this early in the season when you first see your artichokes starting to really take off again. That way you're not disturbing the roots too much on the main plant that you leave behind. I'll just leave this little baby back here, transplant that out a little later. So not to be repetitive, because I have spoke on this many times, but one of my favorite places to plant my artichoke plants is in between my fruit trees. I like to grow it as a living mulch layer. These large leaves are going to spread out, completely fill in the gap, and help to prevent the soil from drying out. So helps me to conserve water, and it also adds a splash of color once the artichoke begins to flower. If I don't harvest the globes, it produces a beautiful purple flower that brings in the bees. So it's a really great combination. And while the soil's really good in this area, the years of conditioning with the wood chips and then also using the compost tea, and we've got some lovely, let me just show you this stuff. Just beautiful stuff. There's worms in there. The artichokes are so easy to grow. They really don't need too much tending. They're actually quite drought tolerant. They don't require fertilizer, although I do like to give it some compost tea. Not much else. There you have it. That's how you transplant an artichoke plant. So here's a good example of a more mature artichoke plant that's grown between the two fruit trees. You can just see what an effective job those leaves are doing to help create that living mulch. Here's another example of an artichoke growing in front of a pear tree. And again over here in front of the plum tree. And over here, yet another example where we got an artichoke growing between a fig and a peach tree, and I put in a second artichoke because the gap is a little wider here. And now if you look closely, you'll see there's an artichoke growing in between each one of these fruit trees. It'll give the design some nice continuity, consistency. But really, planting your artichoke at the base of any taller growing plant on the most southern side, which is going to be getting the most sun, is a great way to have yourself a living mulch that's also going to produce food and flowers for you. Some other updates I want to share with you guys. We got some new blossoms here on this white nectarine. Isn't that lovely? Beautiful pink flowers. And the Santa Rosa plum tree over here is now starting to pop. Some more flowers back there. And here's an update on the loquat tree. You can see all the little fruits starting to set. Just a short time ago, this tree was covered with bees. So here's like the earlier stage before you start to see the fruit. See where all the flowers were. And then those flowers start to give way to the little fruits. And I mean, there's hundreds on this tree this year. Chickens have been very active in the garden as of late. Every time we get a break of the rain, they come out and start doing their duty, doing bug detail. Also, you'll notice in the back here, this back fence, I put up this fabric. This is usually attached to a chain link fence, and it's used for either privacy or for wind blockage. And what I did is just put it up temporarily to help control the wild blackberries that come creeping over the yard from the other side of the fence. And also because that fence has been pulled down by those vines, this just gives it a nice cleaner look. So I think it turned out really nice. I doubled up the fabric, and you can't see through it with the double up. And just use T-post every 4 feet or so. And I really like the green color, blends in nicely. But the end game, what I really want to do back there is actually put up a cinder block wall. That's going to not only control those blackberries from coming over, but it's also going to create a heat sink. So in the winter, because this is the most southern facing point of the yard, that'll absorb the sun throughout the day and radiate it throughout the night. So I might be able to create a nice microclimate back here, perhaps even get away with planting some subtropicals. So that's the plan, but for now this works. I think it's worth sharing with you guys as well, because even for folks living out in the country, maybe you got a deer problem or something like that and you're looking for a quick solution on the cheap, I was able to get a 50-foot by 6-foot piece of this fabric for $47. And it came with the zip ties. I think that's a pretty good price, about $1 a foot. So we'll see how many years I get out of it. If I get even 1 year out of it, I'll be happy, but hopefully we get at least a couple. Always want to play, don't you? Alright, let's play. Alright guys, I got some important business to attend to, playing with the dogs. So, hope this video finds you well. Have yourself a great rest of your evening. Until next time, this is Dan from plantabundance.com. Take care, I'll be talking to you again soon. Alright guys, quickly before we go, I just want to go ahead and pull the draw for the Hori Hori. On the previous video, I announced another Hori Hori giveaway. So everyone who commented on that video, you've been entered for the win. So now we're just generating to see how many comments we got. And it looks like a total of 268 comments. That's amazing. Thank you guys all so much. So without further ado, let's go ahead and pick our lucky winner. And the winner is Amber Lennox. Amber writes, "Love the education you are sharing. It is appreciated. I have now ordered worms and hopes to have my own castings for next year's gardens. How often through the year do you add an abundant amount of tea like in this video? Thanks, Amber." Well, Amber, thank you so much for your comment, for tuning into the channel, for participating in the giveaway. And to answer your question, my aim is to do a complete application once in late winter, again in early spring, and then in late spring, and then in summer. But each time I do one of those applications, I end up brewing 3 batches of tea using my 25-gallon compost tea brewer, and that allows me enough brew to broadcast throughout the entire garden. So each time I'm doing an application, I'm hitting the entire garden. And each and every year is not the same. Sometimes I apply less throughout the year, sometimes I do more. I do think that it is possible to over-apply if you're doing full strength like what I do, but you can dilute the compost tea down quite a bit. And if you were to do that, I wouldn't see any issue with applying this every other week if you wanted to. But it really comes down to how much time you have to do this process and also the investment that you want to put into it. And so all you need to do now is reach out to me. You can contact me through email over at dan@plantabundance.com. Be sure to include in the email your YouTube username and the shipping address where you'd like to have the Hori Hori sent. And for everyone else who didn't win this time, don't fret, many more giveaways to come. In fact, I'm going to be doing another giveaway on this video. I'm going to be giving away 1 pack of Dino Tree Kale seeds and 1 pack of Merit Collard seeds to 1 lucky winner. All you need to do is comment down below and that'll enter you in for the win. And then on the upcoming video, I'll be announcing the winner once again. So thank you everybody for tuning in, for your participation in these giveaways. It's been a lot of fun. Let's keep it rolling.